I'm doing a quick video in response to a chat, very informative and helpful chat I had with an old fraternity brother of mine, Nick Herman from University of Wisconsin-Madison. Nick is I don't know if he's a master roaster, he's probably too humble to say that, but he's a very experienced commercial coffee roaster. So he saw me roasting and had a comment that he thought I was burning my beans, cooking them far too much. So I thought, I like what I produce, but I thought I'd just go back and try a bit lighter to see if the flavors change. So what we're doing, we're starting with those green beans right here. These are Sumatran beans. There's a couple different areas in Indonesia. This is Mandeling. It comes from the Sumatra island of Sumatra, the northern part of Sumatra. And those beans are grown on a side of a volcano, so very distinct flavor from what I know, what I read. And I've roasted them to two different degrees. This is in the coffee world. There's generally in America 4 different grades of roast. They start with the word city, city plus, full city plus. So city would be a very noticeable light brown color. Just as soon as the beans become drinkable, that's like a city roast. And then you get all the way up to full city plus, which is just approaching like very dark, like a European espresso style Vienna or French roast. Okay, so I'm going to grade this on the left as, I'm going to say city plus, maybe full city, and that's definitely full city plus. So that's on the high end of roast, and that's sort of in the middle. Nick was saying that's too much for his taste. I like that. I'm going to try a little bit lighter, and I'm going to try even lighter, and just see what happens. See what I think. So what I'm going to evaluate is the taste of this and this. Roasted, and I did actually did another thing just for Nick's benefit. The machine that we both use can roast up to 1 pound of green coffee, and experienced roasters with this machine roast 1/2 pound. I typically would do that, but to do 3 pounds of coffee, I had to do 6 roasts. It just took a long time, so I started roasting a full pound. Nick was roasting 1/2 pound. So I'm just going to see if there's a taste difference between the two. If not, I'm going to stick with the full pound because it saves me a lot of time. So what I did, you can see the color. Just zoom in. This is what I'm going to call city plus, maybe full city. And for Nick or anybody who roasts, I got this to first crack and then maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I pulled it out right after first crack, actually. And this went first crack for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and that's a full pound. Okay, so with 1/2 pound, that would have been immediately after first crack, maybe 10 seconds, and that would have been maybe 30, 45 seconds into first crack. Okay, definitely did not get a second crack. The crack relates to the bean itself. It's like popcorn. You know, you've all cooked popcorn. You know when it pops. What's happening there is there's an endothermic reaction. Endothermic versus exothermic. Exothermic is heat coming off of something, like the sun creates an exothermic heat. So heat comes out. With beans like this. When you cook, the heat is absorbed into the bean. It's endothermic, and the heat gets to a point where it comes out with a crack, and that's what happens with popcorn. Popcorn seals its moisture inside the husk, and then the endothermic process heats the water up until it turns to steam, and then pop. Same thing with coffee beans. Okay, so the crack is equivalent to the pop of popcorn. So this got to the popping stage, and another like I said, another maybe 15, 30 seconds, and then a minute and a half. Okay, so I'm going to taste the coffee. There's a couple things you normally would do with tasting. You would smell the beans, get the fragrance coming off of the beans themselves, and then you would smell the aroma of the brewed coffee. And this coffee, by the way, all made exactly the same way. So I brew with about 3 to 3.5% coffee per liter of to water. So 35 grams of coffee, or a little bit less, to a liter of water. I brewed these with half of that half batches. So this was 16, 17 grams of coffee per 500 mLs, boiling water, and then cooled off a little bit. And these are being chilled down. This is what coffee tasters call cupping. So it's a cupping test with chilled coffee, so you can really taste taste what's coming in. So I'm gonna just I'll give this a smell. This is the fragrance. And this is the lighter roast, the City Plus. Very nice. Very nice. This is all nut. There's no burn flavor in there whatsoever. It's all nuts, very earthy, mushroomy, and that's typical of Sumatran coffee. Sumatran coffee is noted for its, a couple things. It's very approachable coffee. It doesn't have, it's not bright. Bright is the term coffee drinkers use to, or tasters use to say there's a couple of very distinct flavors coming through, and they're very lively in my mouth. This Sumatran coffee, not bright. It's not dull at all. It's a very like earthy, nutty sort of a flavor, and it's also known for its low acidity, so you don't get that tanginess on your tongue or in your mouth when you drink Sumatran coffee. Okay, so that has a very nice smell. I'm just going to smell it again. No, yeah, very nice. A little, very nutty. I would just say a little mushroomy, dried mushroom, a little bit of herb. Okay, no roast. I'll just this is the Full City Plus. Definitely getting the burn note in there. So it's what's happening with this is interesting. It's the fragrance is not coming off of this in the way that it was coming off of the lighter roast. So that means I'm likely going to end up going to the lighter roast. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, there's just not very much coming off of that, and that I'm not going to. Well, I can smell this. Same thing. So this one, that actually, maybe I just didn't have the top of the jar on. Is tight with this as I did that, and the flavors. But that was a bit more sharp smelling. There's definitely a sharper, like a really dried, fragrant, mushroomy smell in there. So that was the half pound versus the full pound. That was interesting. I've got to do the lighter roast with a half pound, and I'm just gonna get the aroma off of these flavors, off of these cups. Oh, and the cups, I got some of my favorite places in the world. These are all Starbucks. Amsterdam is not Starbucks. The Cyclist, because I like to bike, and then Wisconsin. So this is the City Roast, Full City Plus, full pound, Full City Plus, half pound. Okay, so let me just give that a nose. Really not much coming off of that. Not much at all. That's got more of a nose. So the Full City Plus has got a distinct grill, char aroma to it, and that's what I get most of all. And I'll just see the half pound, and the half pound doesn't have it. The half pound has that same distinct kind of sharp dried mushroomy smell. Interesting. And these are all the same beans, by the way, the same batch, everything. So I'm just going to taste. This is the lighter City roast. Okay, like I said, there's no acidity in there. It doesn't. There's no tang in my mouth whatsoever. That's just a very approachable cup of coffee. Let me do it again. Okay, so I'm picking up like earth, nuts, a little bit of cedar in there. I'd say that's about it. Chocolatey. I don't know. The aftertaste. Very pleasant aftertaste. It's long, and it's kind of going to, it is actually going to a little bit to chocolate and nut. Yeah, so very, very pleasant aftertaste. So yeah, like I said, I think this one, no burn taste whatsoever at all. Earthy, mushroomy, nutty, cereal. There's a cereal flavor in there. So you can see what that Sumatran tastes like. It's a very nice, solid, dependable cup of coffee. Try the Full City Plus. Absolutely distinct burn flavor. I can really, really note the burn. Now I do enjoy that. I like that taste. I'm gonna maybe do a pound of this and that, and just see what people think in my family. Some of us like the burned Starbucks flavor. I do. My wife Jeannie does not, but she still likes this coffee. And I would say, to Nick's credit, the burn does cover up the earthy, nutty, cedary, mushroomy types of flavors. So thank you for that. And I'll just try the half pound. I'm trying to see if the half pound is different from the full pound, just for productivity reasons. That is very different. This does not have the burn flavor to it. And it's a much brighter tasting cup, I gotta say, than the full pound. That's interesting. So that's telling me that the shorter roast time, the longer roast time is perhaps removing some key flavor characteristics out of the beans. That's interesting to know. Okay, just gonna try again. Very little burn taste in there. So I didn't, it's kind of hard to know on the cracking. That was about a minute and a half first crack. That was a lot less, but maybe 45 seconds. I think if I'd let that go to maybe 55 seconds or a minute, I would have had the same-ish burn flavor profile as that. But what it is telling me is that the half pound, up to me, produces a brighter coffee because the flavors are allowed to come out. Okay. It's a little bit more on this half pound. I'm going to do it versus the city roast. Okay, I get it. So they're all very nice coffees. I'm going to stop going as long a crack on. If I do a pound, I'm not going to crack as much. I'm going to do it again and not. I'm going to roast this, basically. I'm going to go with the lighter roast for the Sumatrans. I'm going to avoid the longer cracks. I'm going to experiment with smaller sizes, half pound versus full pound, and just see if I can get comfortable with the flavor profiles that come out of that. I'm still enjoying the full pound coffee. I'm just going to see if this is brighter, because that'll tell me shorter roast times and smaller bean quantities are important. Yeah, I'm gonna start going half pound lighter roasts. Okay, so Nick, thank you very much. And this is a bit of a long video, but I think I've got a lot of friends that are just interested in stuff like this. So hopefully it wasn't boring you to death. All right, have a nice day, everybody.